Okay, so I just booted up my copy of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds recently because I knew the Nintendo Switch 2 version was coming out, and I received this notification telling me that there were actually update patch notes that were going to be on the website. And on a lark, I decided to look it up, and I was actually really interested in what I had to see in the update patch. And I haven't really seen too many people online talking about it, so I actually wanted to talk about it myself. The first thing that's worth mentioning is that the Legend competition is actually a thing. It wasn't just something that was planned for the game and patched out afterwards. Which, some fans were speculating that already, but it's good to know that it's an actual thing. For me personally, I'm not really that interested because it looks like the only rewards are those little banners that you can put next to your names in online racing modes, which never really did anything for me because to me they just kind of felt like flexes. And I'm not really the kind of person that's really that interested in flexing. And so now that brings us to the new gadgets, and I actually found these gadgets to be kind of interesting. The ones that specifically stand out to me are Damage Mercy, Ring Mercy, and Item Mercy. Now, Ring Mercy makes a lot of sense. I've noticed for a while now that it's very hard to hold onto your rings while playing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds because you're constantly being bombarded with items. And so having an item that gives you rings every time you're hit is actually a really nice feature to have. Though I will admit, Damage Mercy and Item Mercy almost seem kind of broken by comparison, but considering just how bad the item spam is, I feel like these were necessary. Now, as for Double Down, Lucky Pair, and Strong Finish, none of those really mean anything to me. I didn't notice anything special or important about them. I'm certain they have their uses. It's just, for my playstyle, it's not really something I think about too much. Now, this part right here, I kinda saw this coming. Donpa tickets can now be used on the gadget customization screen to purchase gadget kits that were previously festival rewards. Like, I knew that Sega wasn't going to lock these gameplay mechanics behind an event, which kind of means that fishing for them or hunting for them during the festivals was kind of a waste of time. But for me, I mostly did the festivals for the decals anyways, so it doesn't bother me that much. But it is nice to know that people who missed out on the festivals can at the very least get these kits, just in case they missed them. Now, this is the part of the patch notes that actually really surprised me. Because not only do they explain what the patches do, but they also give reasons as to why they added these patches. In fact, they do this for quite a while. In fact, over here, there's a bit of a bit over here where they say in version 1.1.2, two strategies were particularly dominant in online matches. And they're basically describing both the Silver Surfer strategy that some people called it and bagging. And so what they've done is that they've added new gadgets and new features to make it so that players that are kind of stuck in the middle positions have more of a fighting chance. Okay, so this part here was kind of interesting to me because apparently there was this problem where when players were playing as the AI racer skins of Team Dimensions, so that's basically Silver and Blaze, there was some confusion about whether these characters were invincible or not. So they've patched their coloration so that they're more of a turquoise color than just straight up silver. Now, for me, as somebody who likes Blaze the Cat, I was never the biggest fan of her AI racer skin color because it's basically just a white coloration. When all of the other AI racer skins have these vibrant, saturated colors, Blaze the Cat just gets this very boring white color. So I actually do appreciate the change in coloration. I even have a new cart customization set up specifically for this new color. I actually genuinely like this change in coloration just purely from an aesthetic perspective. But I do understand that there are practical reasons for it. And yeah, that's pretty much all the patch notes that are worth mentioning. The rest of these are just simple bug fixes that I never really experienced while playing the game. Now, the two things that I've noticed were not addressed in these patch notes that I've seen a lot of fans of this game complain about are the Donpa tickets and the festival's overriding world match. But if you want my personal opinion, neither of those things really bothered me. I feel like the way that the Dompa tickets were handled was actually handled pretty well. The most of the really expensive stuff is just purely cosmetic. So most of the gameplay stuff you can get pretty quickly. I think I got all the cart pieces within the first 2 weeks of the game, or at least within the first month. And as for the festival's overriding world match, I've got nothing to say about that. I prefer the festivals, so I only play online when the festivals go on. So I've got nothing to say to that. But yeah, overall, I was actually really surprised by these patch notes. Here's to hoping that they keep this up going forward with the rest of the game. I actually have been legitimately really enjoying this game. And it's funny because I don't really actually enjoy Sonic Racing games that much. But yeah, I guess now would be a good time to stop